All right, so today we're diving into some pretty fascinating stuff. All about breathing. But we're not just talking about, just the everyday kind of breathe in, breathe out.
Right.
We're talking about breath work and its potential to like shift reality.
Really interesting stuff.
Yeah. So we've got some excerpts here from Breath, Shifting Reality Instantly.
Yeah, that's right.
And this source makes some pretty bold claims
Yeah, it does.
about the connection between breath and consciousness.
Really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, so maybe let's just start with the basics.
Okay.
That, the source really emphasizes breath as the essence of life.
Right.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, think about it. Without breath, we wouldn't last more than a few minutes.
Right.
It's literally the foundation of our existence.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But this source goes beyond,
Right.
just the biological function of breath.
It does.
It suggests that proper breathing has been like a secret of yogis and ancient texts for centuries.
Right.
Promising access to steadier natural powers and union with the divine.
Yeah, it dives into that idea
Okay.
that breath work can really unlock hidden potential within us.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's like breath is this bridge
Yeah.
between our physical and energetic bodies.
Okay, so tell me more about this energetic body idea.
So the source introduces this concept of prana,
Okay.
describing it as this vital life force energy that flows through our body.
Okay.
And it connects us to the nadis, which are kind of like these energy channels.
Energy channels. I'm picturing something like meridians in acupuncture.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Okay.
And the source mentions like a staggering 72,000 of these nadis.
Wow.
So imagine your body like a network of rivers and streams
Okay.
with prana flowing through them.
Okay.
Just like stagnant water disrupts the flow of a river.
Right.
The source suggests that improper breathing can create blockages in these energy channels.
Interesting. So then what's considered proper breathing according to the source?
So the source makes a really strong case for nose breathing.
Okay.
Unlike mouth breathing, nose breathing filters warms and humidifies the air we take in,
Right.
which is thought to improve oxygen absorption and even stimulate the production of nitric oxide,
Okay.
a molecule that's really beneficial
Gotcha.
for our cardiovascular system.
So it can really impact our health.
It's fascinating how something as simple as the way we breathe
Yeah.
can have such a profound impact on our health.
That is fascinating. It makes you wonder how many of us are walking around with these energy blockages simply because we're not breathing correctly.
Yeah.
I know I've been guilty of mouth breathing, especially when I'm exercising or something.
Yeah, the source argues that mouth breathing makes us more susceptible to illness,
Oh, wow.
mental fog,
Oh,
and even spiritual decline.
really?
It emphasizes that nose breathing is the natural and beneficial way to breathe.
It's like we've forgotten how to breathe properly.
Yeah.
Think about how babies naturally breathe deep into their bellies. Or how animals in nature seem to effortlessly take these full deep breaths.
Totally.
Maybe there's something to relearning how to breathe.
Yeah, for sure.
That could benefit us on so many levels.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the source delves into specific breathing techniques
It does.
to help us tap into this power of breath. One technique it highlights is called alternate nostril breathing,
Yes.
also known as Nadi Shapana.
That's right.
All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Tell me more about this alternate nostril breathing.
So it's described as this powerful way to regulate your nervous system
Okay.
and reduce anxiety. Essentially, you alternate the flow of breath between nostrils,
Okay.
using your fingers to close one nostril while inhaling through the other,
Right.
and then switching.
It sounds almost like a dance between the nostrils.
Yeah.
But what's the reasoning behind this back and forth flow? Is
Yeah.
it purely symbolic, or is there a physiological basis for it?
So the source suggests that this alternating flow helps to balance the energy channels in the body.
Okay.
It's like creating this harmonious flow of prana
Gotcha.
throughout the entire system.
So by consciously controlling our breath in this way, we can influence the flow of energy within us.
Exactly.
Wow.
The source claims some pretty remarkable benefits on this
Definitely.
practice,
Like what?
including improved lung function, increased self-awareness, and even a path towards spiritual transcendence.
Spiritual transcendence. Wow, we're going deep here.
I know, right?
What exactly does the source mean by that?
So it introduces this concept called samadhi.
Okay.
describing it as this heightened state of awareness where the limitations of the 3D world, as we perceive it, seem to dissolve.
Oh, it's like breaking free from our everyday reality.
That's one way to put it.
Okay.
The source suggests that through deep meditation and specific breathing practices, including this alternate nostril breathing, we can tap into this expanded state of consciousness.
I'm curious about this idea that we are not just our physical bodies, but fragments of a divine consciousness with unlimited potential.
Yeah.
That's a pretty powerful concept.
It is.
And it sounds like samadhi is one way to connect with that potential.
Yeah, and the source emphasizes the 8 limbs of yoga as a path towards achieving samadhi.
8 limbs of yoga. That sounds like a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
It definitely is.
Okay.
But for now, let's focus on this idea of samadhi
Right.
and how breathing plays a role in accessing it.
Okay.
The source outlines a specific breathing technique that emphasizes stillness and becoming what it calls the silent witness.
A silent witness. Okay, I'm all ears.
All right.
Tell me more about this technique.
So it starts with finding a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed.
Okay.
You simply observe your breath without trying to change it, just becoming aware of its natural rhythm. Then you take a slow inhale and exhale, fully holding your breath out for a short period. The source emphasizes that you should become as still as possible. During this pause, after holding the breath out, you inhale again and hold the breath in again, aiming for stillness.
It sounds kind of like those breath-holding exercises freedivers, to expand their lung capacity. Except here, the focus is on stillness and cultivating this, inner awareness.
Exactly. It's not about pushing your limits or testing how long you can hold your breath, but about using the breath as an anchor to cultivate a state of deep inner peace and observation.
Okay, so the source is saying that by practicing this technique, we can experience samadhi and potentially shift our reality. But how does that actually work? Is it suggesting we can magically change our external circumstances just by breathing?
It's a bit more nuanced than that. The source connects this idea of reality as a manifestation of our thoughts with the importance of staying present in the moment. It suggests that deep diaphragmatic breathing, the kind of breathing that involves the movement of the diaphragm rather than just the chest, can help us break free from negative thought loops, which it calls rumination.
So instead of getting caught up in worries and anxieties, deep breathing can help us access a calmer, more centered state of mind.
Precisely, the source suggests that this shift in consciousness allows us to tap into our creative potential and manifest our intentions more effectively. It contrasts this with shallow chest breathing, which it claims can trigger the stress response and keep us trapped in those negative thought loops.
Okay, so belly breathing, good chest breathing, bad.
Right.
I'm starting to see the connection here between breath and thoughts and our overall well-being. But I'm still curious about this idea of manifestation. Is the source claiming we can literally manifest our desires just by breathing deeply?
It's not quite that simple, but the source implies that by calming the nervous system through deep breathing, we create a more receptive state for manifesting our intentions. Think of it like this. When we're stressed and anxious, our energy is scattered and our minds are clouded. It's difficult to focus on our goals or even believe that we can achieve them. But when we cultivate a sense of inner peace and clarity through deep breathing, we open ourselves up to possibilities that might have seemed out of reach before.
So it's not about breathing in a specific way to attract a specific outcome,
right?
But about using breath work to shift our internal state and align ourselves with our intentions.
That's a great way to put it. The source highlights belly breathing as a key to activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and digest response.
So when we're breathing deeply into our bellies, we're essentially signaling to our bodies that it's safe to relax, repair, and recharge.
Exactly. And this, in turn, allows the mind to focus on intention and manifestation, so creating fertile ground for our desires to take root and grow.
This is all so fascinating. We've covered so much ground here, from prana and nadis to nose breathing, alternate nostril breathing, samadhi, stillness, and manifestation. It's a lot to take in.
It is. And it really challenges us to think about breathing in a whole new way, not just as a mechanical process, but as a powerful tool for self-regulation, spiritual exploration, and potentially even shaping our reality.
Right. From ancient yogic practices to the power of the present moment, who knew breath could be so multidimensional. I'm really curious what stood out to you most from all of this. What are you most curious to explore further?
Honestly, I'm captivated by this concept of samadhi, this heightened state of consciousness where limitations seem to dissolve. It's like accessing a whole other dimension of reality. The source mentioned that consistent practice of these breathing techniques, especially the one for cultivating stillness, can lead to a sense of equanimity and mastery over one's reality.
Mastery over one's reality, that's a powerful statement. But it makes sense in the context of what we've been discussing. If our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality and we can influence our thoughts through breath work, then it follows that we can potentially shape our reality through conscious breathing. It's like we've been given this incredible tool, but we've forgotten how to use it. And for those of you listening,
Yeah.
what stood out to you?
Yeah. What resonated most?
What really stuck with you?
There's so much here
Right.
to unpack, from the simple act of nose breathing to this profound concept of samadhi.
Yeah, maybe you're intrigued by alternate nostril breathing and its potential to calm the nervous system.
Yeah.
Or perhaps you're curious about belly breathing and how it can help tap into a deeper sense of inner peace.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
Right.
we encourage you to explore further.
You know what I think is really interesting is that the source offers some pretty compelling arguments
Yeah.
for incorporating these practices into our daily lives.
Yeah.
Even if we're skeptical about some of the more mystical claims,
Right.
the potential benefits for our physical and mental well-being, I think, are undeniable.
I think that's a great point. We don't have to fully embrace every idea or claim,
Right.
but we can approach this with a sense of curiosity and see what resonates with us personally.
Totally.
What feels true and empowering.
Yeah. And it all starts with awareness,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to how we breathe,
Right.
noticing the quality of our breath throughout the day.
Yeah. Are we breathing shallowly or deeply?
Yeah.
Through our noses or mouths.
Exactly.
Just becoming aware of these patterns is the first step.
Yeah, and then we can start to experiment with these different techniques
Right.
and see what works for us.
What helps us feel more centered, more energized, more connected to ourselves.
Exactly.
And that brings us to our final thought-provoking question for this deep dive.
Okay.
If we can influence our reality through breath, what other hidden potentials might we have just waiting to be unlocked?
What if breath is just one key among many to accessing a deeper level of awareness and potential?
What if the key to unlocking those possibilities has been right under our noses?
Literally.
It's a question worth pondering.
Yeah.
And perhaps the journey of exploration begins with that first conscious breath.
Well said.
It's been an incredible deep dive into the power of breath.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to pay a lot more attention to my own breathing from now on.
Me too. It's amazing how something so fundamental to life can also hold so much mystery and potential.
A huge thank you to you for sharing your insights with us today and to you listening. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it as fascinating and thought-provoking as we did.
Until next time, keep breathing deeply, stay curious, and keep exploring the incredible power within you.